Welcome to the party, pal. Come on into the theater. I've saved you a seat. I've got Doritos. I've got coffee. I've got it all. Excellent combination, by the way. Okay. Hey, let's get into it. We are watching the second Zatoichi movie. Zoku Zatoichi Monogatari, also known as The Tale of Zatoichi Continues, may not have an original name for a sequel, but it has a very short running time at 72 minutes. This 1962 film is black and white, and it is the last black and white film in the Zatoichi saga. The sequel entry in the franchise is rather short, which is a good and bad thing. Good because this is basically a very lean, stripped-down action film as opposed to the first film. And bad because, well, we don't get a lot of weight, or I should say meat, to this film as opposed to the first movie. This is basically Zatoichi walking around from place to place and fighting bunches of goons who want him dead, which is fine because we like that here at Master Chaos Theater. As a matter of fact, his first fight is very early on at about the 12-minute mark, and he has just given a massage to a lord who apparently has a giggling condition. Now, I don't know if the filmmakers wanted to skirt around the issue, if they were, how should I say, hinting at the fact that the giggling lord might have been homosexual, or not. I'm not sure. I have a feeling that's what it was. Anyway, his vassals don't want Zatoichi to start spreading the word that their lord may have a predilection that is looked down upon at the time. So they send a bunch of goons to take care of him, but of course that turns out very badly for all of them. We soon discover that this film is actually a pretty direct sequel to the first one. This one is set a year after the events of Part 1. We go back to the same town where Zatoichi was employed, or I should say freeloading off of one of the rival bosses. We meet up with that boss again. He is, of course, mad at Zatoichi because Zatoichi disrespected him at the end of the first film, and he decides to hire some more goons to take Zatoichi out, which of course is not a good idea. This is to compound the fact that the original Lord's vassals are still sending goons his way. As a matter of fact, there's a great scene by a riverside that I'd like to show you now, which I think just sort of demonstrates what this movie is really all about. Despite the epic and brief fight sequences due to Zatoichi's skill, the film meanders. We don't really get 100% of a plot because there really isn't one. Essentially, Zatoichi has returned to the town from the first film to pay his respects to the grave of Hirata, the ailing samurai that he bested in the first film. While there, that is when he encounters different sorts of goons for various reasons. Now, at the same time, there is a mysterious samurai that is prowling the area. He is a criminal. He's on the run. We don't know how he factors into the story. We don't really know what his connection is to Zatoichi. We do see him every once in a while. He has his own storyline as a fugitive, and we don't really get an answer to why he's there until the end of the picture, and these two mysterious loners meet up.
里市は俺に切らせろ。兄貴、なんてこと言うんだよ。兄貴、やめてくれよ。兄貴、そんなことしてくれじゃないって。兄貴、お前、そんなこと言って。もうあいつら来るよ。 兄貴おいしばらくだったなしばらくだね 兄さん、おめえ、そんなに俺が憎いのか。当たり前だ。殺してやるぞ、イチ。これを食って蹴飛ばしやがって。俺の下めちゃめちゃだ。
We finally get an answer as to who Yoshido is. It turns out to be Zatoichi's elder brother. The actor is Tomisaburo Wakayama, who actually is Shintaro Katsu's real-life brother. Now, in the film, we find out that Zatoichi took Yoshiro's arm because... I'm getting the names mixed up, so I want to make sure I have it correctly for you guys. Took Yoshiro's arm over a woman that they both had affection for. That is a subplot that is not really explored because the movie is very short and we really don't have time for that. Needless to say, the brothers square off. I'm not going to go into details about how that whole thing ends. However, I will say it is not exactly how you imagined it would go. That being said, the fallout of that fight between brothers is what leads us to the film's very, very, very quick conclusion, almost putting a period on this whole segment of the story. Part 1 and Part 2 very much work together, even though they are a year apart. They basically feel like almost companion pieces to each other. Not that you necessarily need the second one to fill out details from the first one, but they work together, and I'm not sure why the ending was so rushed, why they really needed to make the film so short. I assume their shooting schedules were very tight, and they needed to get this movie out. I know this was shot within months of the first film, so that may have led to the fact that this movie was as short and truncated as it is. It's unfortunate that it's not longer, but it's still a really great movie. It's actually really worthwhile, and I would rank it. I'm going to give it a rating here. I'm going to say that it's not as good as the first one, but it's got more fighting. So I'm going to go with a 4 as well with this one. So the first two get 4 out of 5 samurai swords. I do want to mention, before we move on, that the first two Zatoichi movies are important to me personally because when I first moved to California, the first night I spent in California was in a movie theater. It was at the Egyptian Theater, no less, a classic, very famous movie theater. And the double bill that night was Zatoichi, Part 1 and Part 2. So forever, I will be grateful to those movies for keeping me company on my first lonely night in California. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope this video has found you happy, healthy, and well. I will see you tomorrow. We're going to be doing Zatoichi Part 3. That's going to be a fun one. I'm excited to dig into that one with you. I hope you'll join me. Bring your snacks. There's a place for you here at the theater as always. My friend, thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. If you're new here, would appreciate a subscription. If you're old here, welcome back. It's good to see you, my friend. Drop me a big old thumbs up if you enjoyed this movie theater experience, this pseudo review, more of a loose let's chat kind of a thing. And while you're at it, do something nice today. Go out and maybe do a good deed. The world needs it. The world needs happiness. So if you're at all able to, do something nice for someone out there. And until we meet again, I wish you a very, very pleasant good night wherever you are.